hoping we find out if there's gonna be any other villain like spawned up that they're gonna be facing. As I mentioned in the last chapter, I found out that Kath Palug is a creature from the Arthurian mythology that ends up killing King Arthur, and I can understand Kath becoming the main antagonist of this whole chaos arc. But the dude's gotta like forge up his own like crew or something. I don't know. It's gonna be really weird if they're just constantly combating this one guy over and over and over and over again. I'm hoping that's not the case. Personally, I feel like it could kind of run a little dry if that happens. But the fact that we already saw that the chaos can hit monsters and stuff, that I'd like to believe that we'll end up seeing, that more creatures that App has constructed in order to fight Meliodas and eyes to get to his want of eating Arthur, gaining all the chaos powers. But chapter was actually like not as much as action. I figured it was going to be heavily more fight between Merlin and Kath, but it was more on the seven deadly sins and discussion of what they're going to do. Elizabeth, but actually, honestly, now that I think about it, because I was wondering, like, well, then who's going to replace Escanor as like a sin? You could actually probably have Elizabeth take the spot because she's the only like real healer they have. I know King has that little ability, but like that's a healing spell. She has a primary healer plus with provide a pretty useful thing. Plus, I think doesn't she have buffs? You have like them all discussing things. Gowther is really looking at her from perspective, which makes sense as he like does dog. They're saying how even though they got all their desires and all their wishes filled, it made sense to him that Merlin, who still had her desire, her whole want to resurrect chaos and Arthur, go through without telling them, because otherwise it was free of them criticizing what her actions were, saying didn't do that. And I can agree with that. When you have, especially when you like planning this out for 3,000 plus years, probably not want to like get talked down and out of it by her crew. You're gonna keep going. They probably wouldn't understand at all from this desire for hers, find this Merlin. Even though I don't like, my problem with Merlin isn't Merlin as the character. My problem was Merlin like in the plot, just in like any fight you put. Pulls abilities like out of nowhere. Plot can be, but Merlin as like her backstory and how she plays into all this, I do find interesting. I wish I liked her more as a character. For this, they're like hold more weight. I can understand from her perspective why she didn't anybody about all this, but at the same time, I'm just like, I can understand why the seven at least are all upset about her. They're all cross of her hiding something so important, using them as and you got some more like some nice little comedy bits in there too. Her Bond and King just bickering as they do, stuff that you can kind of see. And I think that generally when you have like a cast and you have some serious situations there, it can feel out of place. But I think while discussing kind of like aspects of like their team, showing kind of like certain things about them, like obviously King and Bond not getting along, it's one of those things that kind of just reflects on more of like the way that they interact with each other, right? How they can still act normal even while all this went down, and they can really, we have to help her. We can't let chaos loose. We need her to take responsibility for what she's doing, and we need to take responsibility. Still a member, whether she. Then we get back to Merlin fighting Kath, and I didn't see Merlin as really being able to fight him at all. I talked a little bit about it. I figured with Merlin's like arsenal, like how many spells she has, she'd be able to like annoy and distract him, maybe teleport him away or do something. I didn't think for a second she'd actually fight him. Power that he had, some of his strange abilities. To me, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense, if she was able to do anything really. But wondering like if Kath is going to keep evolving in this fight, because it's obviously the second form. Well, I guess if you count the little cat ball, third form, and just keep progressing more and more with this chaos power constant. And Arthur comes down to help. You know, he goes and slashes down like through him, cuts him up into pieces, goes back up, and then does this whole speech about, you know, protecting Camelot as their king, no matter what. He needs to eliminate this threat. But we found out last chapter there was like something up with Camelot. I was wondering if maybe it was like an illusion the whole time. It was just in the mind of, you know, Arthur. Like it was just some fake kind of thing to prop him up, to move him along. Actually, I would have liked more than this, because I thought this was kind of silly. But it's like, oh, the Camelot was destroyed during the battle with the 7 deadly sins. Like, how did that one place, like, we saw like other places, saw Leona, and pretty fine. I don't know what was going on that Camelot was just completely neglected about it. But Arthur's like obviously being rattled. He doesn't know. If Nanashi is dead, I swear I am going to just have a silent ring. Because he's a character that was really cool in introduction. You know, the samurai guy. And I was just talking to somebody recently. Merlin and Arthur end up becoming like enemies. And Nanashi gets kind of brought into it. And he becomes like a chaos-fueled samurai. That would be so badass. But if he's just off-screen, I don't care about the other characters. But don't off-screen. He's like this weird character that was introduced that never got utilized. I don't know. But he starts to kind of like shake a little bit. And I don't think it was from like the hit that Kath had like, you know, pawed down him. I think it has to do with his powers. Because I don't think that the chaos power could be inherently good or inherently bad. I think that if he ends up like switching too far on one side, it will want to balance each other out. Because he can't really be evil. He can't be good. He's chaos. He's supposed to be this unpredictable chaos energy. But once at that point you have Kath going ready to like attack, full countered. The 7 deadly sins show up to help, and they know, they're like, oh, listen, for now on, we need to spend your time protecting Arthur, because obviously now that she has brought back chaos, they want to be responsible. And during all that, while she's being held responsible, they're gonna be like, we want to also help and protect you, you know, for comrades. We can't just let you take everything really on your own. But at the same time, they're kind of holding her accountable, which is nice. It would have been a really weird way for them to abandon her, even with her like wrongdoings and kind of the way that they. It would still be very strange after all the time for them. But here they are, ready to help her again. And really, like with her in it as number, like, you know, and putting Elizabeth in the 7 deadly sins. Very weird of who would be the 7th one. Or what, they're gonna bring Gil Thunder back? For the next chapter, what, Cry of Victory. Again, I don't think it'll really be victory, like, at the end. Because, like I said, if they kill Kath, the only way that it can really continue and do anything beyond this is if they have other chaos beings come out. Other creatures that were born in chaos that want to consume Arthur in order to gain this chaos power. Whatever it is. Which I am fine with. I am perfectly fine with that. I just want to know. Like, what Nakaba's plans are. Because if this whole, oh, they beat Kath and it's over, then it'll be kind of pointless. There'd be no point to this whole extra piece. It would feel very strange to have this shoved in, and it would feel nonsensical. Whereas if it continues beyond this, okay, yeah, like I said, the chaos stuff has been set up for a while, so I'm all right with it. I've just behind it. It's just more of my question is, what is Nakaba planning that has intrigued in it? Other than that, comment below. Tell me your thoughts are about this whole chapter, and tell me your thoughts are about everything that's going on right now. I did think, like, just Camelot being destroyed in the crossfire was kind of, like, weird. I mean, did nobody go to help Camelot at all? I mean, you have people that can, you know, defend it and, you know, cast barriers and what. Anyway, other than that, comment below, thumbs up the video, click the like button, the subscribe button, and check out. I appreciate it. I think.